The script just played out. You couldn't have written it better. And that night, the feeling in the air, you could taste, you could smell success.
It was calm, it was warm, it was a beautiful evening, I remember that.
I think we'd all had such a terrible Olympics. We all have different stories with regards to what was going on.
Not one of us made the final for the 100, 200s for the first time and since I think the 19-something Olympic Games.
I just remember being devastated. I remember getting together with the boys and just those guys just uplifting me.
There's no time to, well, you know the next Olympics is 4 years. For me, I know I ain't trying to be around for 4 years. This is your shot. I then tried to run the 100, 200 metres. Then a famous pundit said I was faking injury. After being accused of something that I'm not, I've never faked anything in my life. I was done. We had a meeting, a relay meeting, and I remember saying to the guys, look, I'm happy to go home. And they said they wanted me to stay. And I think that's when I believed we could win.
The good thing about the relay is you're not on your own. You get to share the stress and the environment.
You've got to remember, a few days before, we're all competing against each other. We're all fierce rivals, and sometimes we're not all the best of friends. But actually, that evening was a combination of lots of lessons learned over the years.
We was doing some warm-up drills, relay drills, and we had the Americans just underneath us, and we could see that they weren't really getting on. You know, there was a bit of tension within their camp.
Did you feel like underdogs compared to the Americans?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were always underdogs. We've always been underdogs.
They were the fastest 4 athletes on the track in the world, on the planet at that time. Americans at this point, they hadn't lost for decades. So it's out of the ordinary, and the self-belief we had went back a long time.
The 100 metres, it's all about yourself. It's all about going out there and just being your fastest person. And with the 4x1, it's bringing all 4 of those talents together. And I think we did that perfectly. You know, we let our egos, we left them to the side. We knew what our roles were.
Darren Campbell is a great 100 and 200 metre runner, one of Britain's best ever sprinters, probably best after maybe Linford Christie, who was his coach. So giving him the longest leg, second leg, plays to his strengths. Marlon Devonish is a really good world-class 200 metre runner who could execute bends brilliantly and also was a very, very good relay technician.
Jason, we've come through the junior rankings together. So we went to the World Juniors together and we shared a room together. And we battled individually over 100 and 200 metres many times.
Mark Lewis Francis, hungry as hell as a youngster. He was waiting for, to get a chance to anchor Britain.
Did you feel like the baby of the group?
Always, even to this day, I'm always going to be 10 years younger than those guys, but what they did for me, they mentored me rightfully. I earned my spot in the 4x1 after like 3-4 years of fighting to get that 4x1 spot. I finally got it in 2004.
The warm-up is a fascinating place to be. It's not for the faint-hearted. Darren is very different to me, very different to probably the other athletes. He's got no qualms. He grew up in Moss Side. He can handle himself on the streets, and he's got no qualms going up in like a hornet and into the nest and steering things up with the US athletes.
I used to get on with the American guys, and it's only recently the guys were telling the story, and they said, Maurice Green and the other guys like drove past and was like saying hello to me, and I just blanked them. I think I was in like just that zone where I've got a job to do, and there are no friends today.
There was a lot of talent in that team. So again, with talent comes a little bit of arrogance. They knew they were better than us speed-wise, but we knew we had them with skills.
Maurice Green used to prowl up and down the track. He was like menacingly.
He had that Usain Bolt aura, but the opposite way. It was extremely aggressive.
There's a certain type of personality that allows the 4 of us to be successful, because we compete individually and we need to put that all aside and put ourselves as a team.
Tell me about the race itself.
Steve Perks, our coach at the time, he was calm, cool, collective, and he just came over to us and he just said, listen, just seize the day, guys.
I remember just thinking, I can't let nothing affect me, and I have to be a different version of myself than I've ever been before.
I just remember sitting in the final call room, quiet. I got a little nudge off Darren. He said, "You all right, kid?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good,
We're going to have to run the race of our lives, and we're going to have to be near perfect.
He says, "Listen, you'll be all right, because we know you've got a strong head. And if you get the baton in first place, we know you would deliver."
I remember Darren Campbell saying to him, we're going to give you the baton in the lead, and you are going to do what no other person could do. Is actually you're going to hold off the USA.
I was like, yeah, if you give me the baton in first place, then it's a no-brainer.
When you come out of the stadium, there was this long, quite low, dark, cold tunnel, and it was echoey.
I remember walking through and all the officials were saying, just to us, good luck, you're going to win, you're going to win. And we was just like, this is crazy.
Where were they from?
They was from Greece. It's mad.
Woo! Lots of cheers and shouts. The Nigerians, they were also really vocal, and we were really, really quiet. Normally we're having a little bit of banter and jokes with them, but we were really quiet.
My senses were really alert. I could smell the burning rubber of the track because it's that Greek hot sun had been baking that track day after day.
Jason was handed the baton, and it was a gold baton. That was like, for us, the icing on the cake.
I was thinking, I'm not going to look up and be disillusioned and gutted to see they're all gold. But then it was eating on my mind. And I remember in the next lane to me, lane 4, was a Team Nigeria. And I noticed the colour of their baton was a little bit similar, but it looked more bronze coloured. And they finished with the bronze. But then in lane 5, the USA team, and it wasn't gold, it wasn't silver. That was it. I didn't need no more signs.
On your marks, get set, go. False start. Not ideal, because we're living in a world of splits of a second. But I have complete faith in Jason.
I remember looking at Marlon and just giving him the nod. And he nodded back like to say, I know what you're thinking, you know, and it was just that. I don't know, it was like we was mind readers on that evening.
Again, start on your marks, get set, go. Gets out the blocks successfully. Sean Crawford runs a blind in turn, but we're in the mix.
I think I was focused on the aspects that I could control, making sure I went on the check mark, making sure I accelerated well, making sure my hand was in the right position for Jason to be able to give me the baton.
Once that changeover happened, I see Darren, and Darren's running towards me, and my feet are in the right position. I'm looking back, waiting for him, and I'm watching his feet. I gaze from his eyes down to his feet. I'm watching his feet. As soon as he hits that marker, I just got to go as fast as I can. And there's this strange moment when Darren shouts hand, you put your hand back, and it looks like on TV that it's just placed into your hand. Like, there you go, take the baton. But it's actually quite violent, and you feel that slap of it in your hand. When you receive the baton, it's like, all the goosebumps go down, and you have this rush of adrenaline going through the turn.
I just went into my position. I don't think I watched anything else. I just waited for Marlon.
Heart's in my mouth as Mark goes out the trap, and I think he's gone too early, but thankfully it's been the most amazing of changeovers, a poetry in motion.
Marlon passed me the baton, that little 5,000ths of a second or whatever it is, I realised I got the baton in first place, and then it just went all blank.
And then I'm watching the race unfold literally on the other side, but I'm right opposite the finishing line. And I could see Maurice Green chasing Mark down.
And then seeing Maurice Green surge, it felt like split seconds later.
You can see the determination on my face that I weren't letting nobody pass me at all. And that was the moment that could change my life. And I weren't going to let nobody take that away from me.
And he went over the line. And because you live in that world, and I'm looking at the screen, I knew we weren't. It was very close. It's 0.1 of a second.
I was like, no way. We actually won the Olympics.
And then Mark jumps around celebrating. I probably run back round to join him quicker than I did in the race.
It's out of this world. Sometimes it just boggles my mind sometimes, but it's fantastic. I get to share it with the 3 other athletes.
Imagine being a child dreaming about winning an Olympic gold medal, and then it actually comes true. You know, there's no words to describe it. Darren was walking down the home straight in absolute tears, and I was like, no way, we did it.
Emotional now. It was written. It was written. It was in the gods.
That night we were celebrated. We were celebrated by the locals.
The bouncers on the door recognised us, and we got pushed right through to the VIP. Just celebrated with my teammates.
The next thing I remember is going back to the village, maybe 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I think we had a press conference at 10 o'clock.
I was absolutely hanging, but hey, listen, was it 1912 the last time it was achieved? So, you know, we had to do some making up for lost time, you know.
I think Jason had a moment of reflection just to sit back and relax and take it all in.
Jason went to bed. But you know what, I get it, because it was draining. It was emotionally draining, not physically, to go from rock bottom to standing on top of the world in 72 hours. It's a little bit crazy.
How do you feel just
Proud.
today, now, about that legacy?
Proud. I think proud that I've made a mark, or we've made a mark in this world, and you know, we've gone in history, and people still talk about it.
It's a real deep-rooted rapport with all of us, and makes us easy to be vulnerable and open with each other. Without question, they are brothers. They'll be there for me. I know they're there for me, and I'm there for them.
When I was ill 6 years ago, and I had the bleed on the brain, you know, the guys that lifted me back up and gave me the belief that I could get back to 100% with them same guys. So yeah, for me, it goes beyond that Olympic gold medal. The true value is the friendship that I've got with those three guys.
Anything that those guys need in life outside of sport, I've got them. You know what I mean? You make me start crying. It's mad, isn't it?